morning. This is Shauna Bremenkamp with SolarCurtiaLife.com, where together we as women are pursuing a life of holiness by grace alone. And welcome to my office. Actually, I call it the multi-purpose room because eventually this is not going to be just my office. It's going to be my homeschool room where I'm going to be teaching my daughter. It's also going to be an arts and crafts room and all sorts of different things. Hence the name multi-purpose room. And excuse the clutter around and behind me in this office because since we moved into this house 5 months ago, I have not organized this area at all in any way, shape, or form. This is the only area in the house that I have not touched because I'm waiting for us to get a couple pieces of furniture before I can start to put anything away. So anyway, that's that. Other housekeeping item here. The reason why I'm talking so quietly here is because my daughter is napping in the other room, and I want to make sure that I don't wake her because she has started to nap really well and sleep really soundly, and so I don't want to mess that up. She's 9.5 weeks old now, so any sort of new consistent patterns that she's showing, I want to try to keep that as much as possible and not disturb it. Lastly, as you know, we're here in my office right now. When it's too hot outside, where I normally do these daily devotional readings, I will go ahead and sit in here in my office to do that. And the reason why I'm making these videos is actually to honor a request that a reader from my website, from my blog, actually requested. Her name is Patricia, and she has recently been suffering from severe visual problems. And unfortunately, those visual problems are permanent. So she requested that the devotionals that I write to my email subscribers through my blog, that I make an audio version of it. And so this playlist will do just that. Now, let's get into it before I ramble anymore. So this week, we're actually starting a new theme called What Jesus Thinks of You. And today is day 1 of that theme. And the title of today's devotional is You Are His Bride. One of the great and beautiful mysteries of the Bible is how God uses marriage to illustrate his love of us. The Apostle Paul even describes it as such in the well-known chapter Ephesians 5, verse 32. Mark 2, verses 19 through 20, John 3, verse 29, John 3, verse 29, 2 Corinthians 11, verse 2, Revelation chapters 19, 21, and 22 are among many other passages in the Bible that uses the marriage analogy for the relationship between Christ and his church. You picture a wedding ceremony. One of the pivotal events is the bride walking towards her bridegroom, who traditionally presents her, the bride's father. The couple makes their vows and they enter their holy covenant and move on to the wedding feast in celebration of the union. Our Heavenly Father, out of his great love, sent his only begotten Son to rescue us from the spiritual death and wrath of the Father that we justly deserve. In the Son's perfect love for the Father, he set his eyes on us, his betrothed, and vowed to rescue us, treasure us, redeem and cleanse us, sanctify us, in other words, sacrificially, fiercely, valiantly, humbly, gently, protectively, unwaveringly, permanently. When Jesus returns for his bride, we will be united with him in fullness of glory, and he will take us to the New Jerusalem, to fellowship forever and ever into eternity. Here are some questions to ask yourself and questions I'm asking myself. What impacts your heart the most about how Jesus sees you as his bride? What other ways besides what was mentioned in the devotional does Jesus love you as his bride? And normally I do either a actual prayer, like I kind of take us into prayer, or I give you a prayer prompt. Today we're going to have a prayer prompt. Think of the ways that gets you excited about seeing Jesus face to face, as well as the amazing miracle that is God's redemptive rescue of you, and tell him what's on your heart. So that's it for day 1 of this week's devotional, What Jesus Thinks of You. Stay tuned for day 2. And go ahead and, if you haven't caught up already, go ahead to the daily devotionals playlist and check all those videos out. Thanks so much.